Thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today in support of this resolution naming June 2023 Pride Month in the state of Michigan, and with a bit of your latitude to give the remarks I would have liked to have given last year, and the year before that, which was actually the first year that we adopted such a resolution in our state's history. Since Pride Month and this resolution focus so much on the LGBTQ+ community's history, this bit of history is also important. That resolution's passage in 2021 should have been a moment of celebration, and in many ways it was. It was the first time that this body and our colleagues in the Senate took the affirmative step to declare that our state honored the history of the LGBTQ+ community, but that step didn't come without a fight, as so few of our steps do. At that point, there were only 3 out members in the entire legislature: former Representative Tim Sneller, Senator Jeremy Moss, and myself. Tim and I had agreed that I would introduce the resolution with absolutely no expectation that it would be adopted. However, that year the Senate adopted Senator Moss's version, so we brought it to the then Speaker. He proposed to our leadership at the time that the House, too, would adopt the resolution under the conditions that we not speak to it and that my name come off as sponsor. Representative Sneller, who was always one to roll with the punches, and I put his name on it, introduced it, and it was adopted, and history was made. There was little time to negotiate, and in all honesty, I am pretty sure that the choice had already been made for me before I was brought into the conversation. But I did struggle a lot with that decision after the fact. The entire point of Pride, and this resolution, and that one too, is to honor the history and struggle of our community, celebrate our achievements, and appreciate everything that makes us unique. And I felt like I was tarnishing and cheapening that by giving into arbitrary demands about who should get to represent our community. I was being told that I was, quote, too much, and to just sponsor a simple resolution. And forgive me, Madam Speaker, for this personal point, but it's an important one. As a bisexual woman, I have always been too much of one thing for some people, and simultaneously too little of another for others to actually belong anywhere. And being confronted with that at work compounded the feeling that I was letting people down by capitulating. But at the same time, I also knew that this was the only thing that this body at the time was going to give the LGBTQ+ community to celebrate. The behind-the-scenes back and forth could remain there for the moment, but we could just come together to celebrate a historic, albeit symbolic, victory. And we did. And when the exact same thing happened the following year in 2022, it hurt just as much, perhaps even more, because I knew that Tim would be leaving me soon, and I would be alone in this chamber in that regard. And I worried that we would lose the progress, the tiny bit of progress, that that resolution created. But as it turns out, the people of Michigan had my back, and they sent me some reinforcements. So this Pride Month, we have so much more to celebrate. We are working to make Michigan a place where the LGBTQ+ community can live and love safely with public servants that not only respect them, but reflect them. And while we are passing so much more than a symbolic resolution these days, this resolution and its adoption embody the spirit of pride and the ability to look back at a history of violence, fear, and oppression, and to look at the very present threats and dangers right in their face and celebrate anyway. And I want to let every LGBTQ+ Michigander know, from this tiny, loud, queer, too much representative, you are not too much. You are not too little. You are perfect, you are loved, and you belong here. Happy Pride, and I urge a yes vote on this resolution. Thank you, Madam Speaker.